Welcome to the screening. Today's screening will be To Kill a Mockingbird. Hey everybody, it's our first episode. Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
Woohoo! I am, of course, your humble and eloquent host, Cooper. And over there, we've got Isaiah. How you doing, Isaiah?
Pretty good. And hi.
Yeah. And over there, we got Matthew. He sounds like that.
Howdy.
And he talks like that. And he says,
Not
"Hey, a lot."
really. I'm just so excited. It's
And
the
over
first
there,
screening.
we've got the posh Tanner Lewis.
Hello.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, Tanner's not here.
Now, everyone listening to this is probably so confused. They're like, what are these guys talking about? This is the very first episode. Well, you guys will be excited to know that if you just fall in love with this episode and can't get enough of us guys,
Which
then
is going to happen. We're not
it's-
responsible for obsession.
yeah, sorry, we can't help it. We are pretty charming young men. But go head on over to Bookin' It. It's our podcast where we do essentially the same thing as this podcast, but with books instead of movies. We actually already have
right.
over 30 episodes over there, right?
That's right. Well,
Yeah,
actually,
something like that.
29 by the time this comes out.
29.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, so how are you guys doing?
Pretty
Doing
good.
great. I mean, podcast is... I got a speech and debate tournament starting tomorrow at 7 a.m.
That's your choice, man.
Yeah, I know.
I've been
And
waiting for this
I'm
podcast.
excited.
He's
excited,
guys. He likes
Oh, yeah, I love
Isaiah's
movies.
also...
and saying it.
Yeah, Isaiah's like, I tolerate the book podcast because you guys are there and it's fun, but the movie podcast is where I'm at.
This is
baby.
where Isaiah
Oh,
branches out. Isaiah, we expect you to be very,
Have a very strong opinion.
Expect that with like The Hobbit and other movies I've seen.
Trust me. Yeah. Tanner's going to be like ripping The Hobbit apart, and he's like, I just thought it was a fun movie.
Isaiah's like, oh, some guy gets stabbed in the head and that you hear his brains getting twisted with a sword.
Awesome.
Wow, that's
yeah,
epic.
me and my sister
laughed
watched.
at that in The Hobbit.
Yeah, I know,
when she was
and
6.
that is the moment where I thought Becky may not be exactly right. No, I'm kidding. We love Becky. She's perfectly
That's when she started
fine.
watching
She's a
Marvel.
donor. Yeah, yeah. Me and my sister started watching Desolation of Smaug last night, and we watched the barrel scene, and I was like, really?
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
But
Yeah.
we'll talk about that in a few weeks, won't we?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know why we're talking about The Hobbit right now. What's going
That's
on?
right. It's absolutely forbidden. But anyway, let's do a little bit about ourselves real quick before we get
Totally.
into baggage. Or I'm actually going to call this Ticket Check because it's got to have some sort of movie name.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
Yeah, because baggage is really a book name, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
well, it just sounds better than everything. It was called History Books. That isn't.
You know, we could...
There's a reason why we changed that.
we could call it like open book or something.
That's kind of worse.
No, it's not.
I mean, we
No,
call it like
no, it really
check
isn't.
out or something
Anyways,
like that.
no, we're not changing it. We're sitting with
Yeah,
baggage.
baggage is pretty good.
All right.
Yeah,
Anyways, Isaiah, what is your what do you call it down? Ticket.
Wait, no, hang on. We got to real quick. Let's do again a little bit about ourselves.
Oh, okay.
Just kind of give an introduction of who they are.
We'll make
and-
Tanner do this next week too,
Yeah, that's right.
or 2 weeks. Crap.
So go ahead, Isaiah. What about you? Tell us about yourself.
Well, let's see. I'm homeschooled. I'm 15 years old.
Tells you all you need to know right there. No, I'm kidding. Keep going.
That's all Isaiah does.
I like reading books that are more like a fantasy or adventure. I like a lot of action adventure movies, and my hobbies are archery. I love playing video games, reading, and coding. Basically,
Nice,
anything to do
nice.
with technology and then archery.
This is going to be my weird question for each of you. What genre of movie do you think that The Avengers falls under?
Oh, dude, it's action adventure.
That's what I was going to say, but
It
Yeah.
literally
that's what I
says
think.
that in like the description.
Yeah, it's
right.
definitely action adventure.
You can make a case for sci-fi, right?
You can make a case for a comedy for
True.
some of them, like Ragnarok.
That's
You
true,
can
yeah.
make a case
Is
for
it
comedy.
Ragnarok? It's like it's a buddy comedy using the Marvel Universe as a way
Which
to do
I
it.
love. That's
It's
literally
great.
my favorite Marvel movie, which could be part of my intro to myself. Howdy, I'm Matthew. If you didn't notice by the way I said howdy, I am a true Texan and love Texas, love Sky Ranch, and
Loves America.
loves America. Well, Yeah. Moving on. No. Yeah. Like I said, my favorite Marvel movie is Thor Ragnarok. Chris Hemsworth is a dude. My brother, not my actual brother, but I wish. And
Brother from another mother, something like that.
yeah, that was hilarious, Cooper.
I'm a funny guy.
Yeah. I'm also homeschooled, as you read in the description of this podcast. We all are, and we all go to school together every Friday. And
Hang on, Matthew. That seems like a self-contradiction right there. How can we go to school and be homeschooled?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're not all brothers.
Okay, so yeah, that did. Never mind. I meant one day a week we all go on Fridays and talk about school stuff and eat lunch and then talk about more school stuff. And then the whole rest of the week we do school by ourselves.
Right. And podcast.
Every single week for you. So that's how special you should feel.
That's right. Feel special.
Yeah. We're part of a co-op called Classical Conversations.
Well, we are not advertising Classical Conversations.
No, I'm just saying it because you just basically said we go to every Friday meet up and talk about school.
That's what we do.
Right?
Yeah, but I was expanding on that, saying what it is.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
All right. And real quick, before we get into ticket check, whatever lame name I called it, my name is Cooper. I'm homeschooled. I love Texas.
Why are you copying me?
And I like America more than Matthew. No, I'm kidding. We all love America here. And I just got my permit and I'm driving.
Me too.
And we're all Christians. I don't know why we didn't say
yeah,
that. Oh gosh, I feel ashamed.
Cooper put this in my part. Yeah, and I'm also a Christian.
Awkward.
Been all my life.
yeah. I haven't. I'll edit a part in there. Anyway, that about sums all of us up. We're homeschoolers.
Oh, I also have something super random fact. The other day,
Go ahead.
I was at Isaiah's house, and he taught me how to solve a Rubik's Cube, so now I've been doing it a lot.
Oh, you can now?
Yeah, you
dude.
can solve it. It took like 3 hours, but yeah.
You're exaggerating. It was 2 hours.
All right, moving on to ticket check. All right.
Ticket check.
Isaiah. Actually, Matthew, we'll start with you this time.
Oh.
Check your ticket. What do you bring?
Well, so... Shouldn't you tell everyone what ticket check means? It's just like how we...
Ticket check, of course, the part of the show is where we explain our history with the said movie or our experiences with it that have led up to this moment.
Yes, exactly. So, To Kill a Mockingbird, the movie. So, as I said in our book and episode, I've heard about To Kill a Mockingbird for a long time, blah, blah, blah. I never really wanted to read it. Read it, actually enjoyed it. And so then one time... a girl in our class said, you guys want to all come over after school on Friday and watch To Kill a Mockingbird? And we were like, sure. And so we did.
Yeah, that's about
it. That's right. All right, Isaiah, try to say exactly what Matthew said, because I know it's going to be the exact same, except in a slightly more amusing and different way.
Yeah, like pull a Tanner, right?
All right. So basically, I had no clue there was a movie till about like... a month ago.
0 clues, all right? 0.
So I don't know, like I just said, about a month ago, whenever
not 2 months,
class,
1.
Whenever a girl in our class invited the whole class to go watch To Kill a Mockingbird at her house. And yeah, that's about it.
And did you do that?
Yeah, we went and watched it.
Good job.
Yes.
Kind of.
That's right.
You kind of?
My ticket check is different. Well, my ticket check is slightly different, surprisingly. But, yeah, so ever since I can remember, my grandpa has loved To Kill a Mockingbird. It's like his favorite movie of all time. And so, I've always
his favorite movie?
Favorite movie of all time, yes, exactly. Actually,
really?
Sorry. Second favorite movie, The Hunt for the October is his favorite movie. But, it's one of his favorite movies. Anyway. So, when I read the book, I told him, hey, I finished To Kill a Mockingbird. He was like, oh, we should watch the movie sometime. I'm like, yeah, sure, exactly. So, I saw the movie, and I watched it, and then read the book for school again this semester, and we watched the movie, and here I am on a podcast talking about it. So
wow, that was so exciting and not at all boring. Thank you.
Anyway, that was me crying.
Has
but,
your
okay.
has your grandpa like said anything like why is this his favorite movie? I'm just curious. I'm not like getting onto him. I think it's.
I don't know. I
good.
guess he just related with it. I don't know. I'll have to talk to him. He's probably gonna listen to this, but
Yeah.
he was like that's exactly what he was like. 'Cause he grew up in the 50s,
Mhm.
and that was kind of exactly what life was like,
Mhm.
And he just really liked, I don't know, Atticus, I guess, just standing up for what was right and realizing how it was wrong. I don't know. I'll have to talk to him about it, and I'll tell you guys next episode what he said. But anyway, yeah. So,
idea.
what are you guys' thoughts on To Kill a Mockingbird the movie?
Like as far as movies go, generally when they're based off a book, I am very disappointed because
Honestly,
the
we should have called the podcast "The Movie Was Better." Sorry, the book was better. Gosh, that is such blasphemy. I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. But like I was saying, generally with movies that are based off of books, I like the books outstandingly better, and like the movies are just kind of pathetic, including Harry Potter. There are a
true.
few exceptions. Actually, okay, I love all the actors in Harry Potter, but
That's true. They like every good British actor like ever.
yeah, but anyways, the movies just compared to the books are trash. Not the movies themselves compared to the books. Anyways, that's unrelated. Why am I talking about Harry Potter? Sorry. But as far as To Kill a Mockingbird, I thought the movie was actually pretty good, even compared to the book. It definitely wasn't to the level of the book, but I
Yeah.
thought it was really good, actually. And like the actors, I couldn't tell you any of their names, but
Yeah, I
their
mean,
representations
Atticus
of the
Finch is
characters
Gregory
were very
Peck.
good. Huh?
Atticus Finch is Gregory Peck.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
who
a
that
lot
is
of old
either.
people. So, none of us. But anyway, yeah. Isaiah, what about you?
I mean, yeah, it was a good movie. It wasn't the best movie or anything, but it was better than I expected from like it first being a book, like Matthew said. And
Like Matthew
I mean, they
said,
could've-
get used to that, guys.
be quiet. It could have been better in some parts, but it was still pretty good. And I liked how they focused more on a trial throughout the whole thing, because that was that was a
We'll talk
part
about that definitely right after. So yeah, my thoughts, kind of like Matthew. I thought it was. Let me say this. I think by no means today is a quote unquote great movie. I think it's a good movie, especially during the time and what it was made. Yeah, I like the characters' representations. We'll talk. Sometimes it was a little different, and as I said, yeah, they focused more on the trial, and I'm not sure on whether I like that or not. We'll see later on. But overall, I thought it was a really good movie.
Mhm.
And again, I guess when you're making a movie and you're making a movie about To Kill a Mockingbird, and you even get like half as good as the book, it's still going to be really good.
Yeah,
right?
it's true.
And
Cooper, you can find Cooper back in booking it, quoting that the book is nearly perfect,
that's right. It is.
which it really is. So, I mean, yeah, you're right. If you can get it anywhere close, then it's really good.
That's right. All right. Well, let's talk about this movie. So first off, what do you guys think about the representation of the characters? Like Scout, do you think the actor did a good job? And try to save Atticus and leave him out. We'll talk about him next. But just general, did you like kind of transforming Harper Lee's world into Kill a Mockingbird into movie form and the characters?
Yeah, I think my favorite character in the movie was Jim. He was
Really?
kind of, yeah, I don't know. He definitely seemed different than the book, though. So
Yeah.
if you're asking like which characters were most like the personalities of the characters in the books, then I think Scout was definitely good. I again can't tell you the actor's name, but I think she looked like Scout, and I think she acted like Scout. Definitely talked like Scout.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Morning, Mr. Cunningham. Just like that.
Yeah, exactly. The little whiny voice.
Yeah.
And I definitely, like, when you said that, for some reason, the immediate thing that came to my mind was when she was, like, inside of the tire rolling around.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that scene in the movie was exactly how I pictured it in the book, for some reason.
Nice.
Like, including, like, everything with them running out through the gate and smacking the Radley house and all that.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
are we
what
going to
about you?
do... Oh, never mind. I'll ask after.
Okay.
Wait, did you ask me something? Sorry, you cut
Yeah,
out
same
right
question.
This.
there. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Say. Ask the same question. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. In the books, well, let's see. I don't know. I'd have to say like Dill, in my opinion, was very similar to how he was in the book.
Yeah, honestly, when I first saw him, I was like, "Whoa, that's a dill," but I was like, "Oh yeah, that's dill."
It's kind of funny
Yeah.
though, with his teeth sticking out like that.
Oh, his teeth were hilarious.
Yeah.
Yes, that was so good. But you guys think that the characters were well represented and all, or do you think that they were left lacking at all?
I mean, I think they were left lacking, but I think they were pretty well represented.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they weren't like the best representations of them, but they're better than, like I said before, what I expected for it to be.
Right.
Since it was first a book.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we've talked about this a lot on Booking It, that the book is written in kind of like, how do we end up describing it? It's first person, but it's also like third person past tense.
Well,
I
here, let
keep
me
saying
explain.
so, but
You guys know like the Christmas Story, the movie. It's kind of like that, like how the narrator is himself. It's pretty much exactly like that, except way better than the Christmas Story.
obviously. But I lost what I was saying. What was I saying? Tell me what I was saying.
I don't know. What were you saying?
The tense of the. Oh, you like how like
Yes,
tense up?
yes. No, so that's what I was saying. Like I just said that I thought the characters were lacking, but they were still pretty good. I think as far as you can go with like representing characters from a book in a movie, they did pretty well. Which now that I think about it, Harry Potter did pretty well too, because there's a point where you can't see what you can read, you know?
Yeah.
You can't you can't see into their mind and see exactly what they're thinking the whole time like you can in the book. So you do your best in film to represent it and make the actors make certain facial expressions and whatever. And like even sometimes they'll do like go into their heads and like have little clouds around the edges of the screen. It'll be like a flashback or something. You see what they're thinking about. But I mean, you can't just do that throughout the whole movie. It'd be terrible.
Yeah.
So
I always tell people, especially with the book endings and movie endings, especially with the Wingfeather saga, which we talked about, they would always say, "I don't like the ending." And I always say, like, once you get over the fact that the ending is not going to be how you pictured it, it's normally a good ending, except with, obviously, a few exceptions. Well, a lot of exceptions,
yeah.
So I think that most, prominent The Hunger Games. But,
Oh, yeah, no.
But especially in this movie, once you get over the fact that they're not going to be how you picture them and they're in your head, they're actually really good representations. Isaiah, you going to see anything before we move on, man?
No, I'm good.
All right. So let's talk about Atticus a little bit. In the book, Atticus is, I think we talked about it a little bit. I think we talked about 2 episodes, how he's not a perfect father. He's by no means a perfect man. In the movies, he's pretty much a perfect man.
Yeah.
Do you guys like that? Do you think it's fair to the character? What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, obviously it doesn't follow the storyline of the book, but it does make for a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah, I would have preferred it if they kept it how it was in the book. I mean, probably most people would. But it does show at least like that in the book he tried a lot to be perfect and never could be. In this one, it just showed that he was, but it just made him seem better than he actually was, which I think is a pretty good representation of him too, though.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of people.
You could see Atticus as the guy who is like perfect, because I feel like every movie has to have like one like almost perfect character.
But like every single Marvel movie is literally like, you thought your dad was perfect. Well, actually, he had issues. Now go deal with them. That's pretty much every single Marvel movie. When you think about it,
True.
It's Thor. It's Black Panther. It's
Iron Man. Yeah.
Iron Man. Yeah, it's all of them. But what was I gonna say? Oh yes. So also, a lot of times when people think of Atticus Finch in the book, they think of the movie. They think of this perfect, upright, righteous man. Whereas in the book, he's actually a little different, right? And it can get, viewing the book through the movie, it's easy to see Atticus as perfect, but he's not. And I feel like it's something that the movie does kind of get wrong. Is it's like you portrayed Atticus as perfect. Well, he's not. You got
he still lost
exactly how you do it.
He still lost the trial though.
Well, I'm saying like his character is perfect, right? Like,
yeah.
The trial was out of his hands. He should have won, right? But just the fact that he I don't know. But and also just the fact that he's also like a little more meek than in the book than he is in the movie. Like in the movie, when Mr. Ewell spits on him, you're like, Atticus is gonna beat the heck out of this guy.
In the book?
No, in the movie. And in
okay,
the book,
yeah.
he just kind of walks away, you know.
Yeah.
I guess we don't get to see that scene in the book. We can imagine that Mr. Ewell would have probably beat Atticus up, but not so.
He's like more calm, I guess, in the book, kind of.
Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah. I mean, he's pretty calm in the movie, too. And Gregory Peck is probably the best character
he's really good
in the movie, yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. I remember thinking when I first saw him in the movie that this is not what I thought Atticus would look like. But now I'm like, what would Atticus look like? That he really just took it. Because like I keep relating to Harry Potter, but after I'd read Harry Potter like a few times before I'd seen the movies, like I had a certain way I imagine the characters. But now, even if I'm reading the books, I imagine them as the characters in the movies, just because they're so.
I'm gonna focus on this a little bit. We'll go on a little rabbit trail. Like Snape in the movies. Completely different from the books.
Yeah, totally.
Like, and we'll talk about it later in Harry Potter. But anyway, same thing kind of here with Atticus. They kind of like they make Snape seem more regal, more dignified in the movies.
Yeah.
Than in the books.
Yeah,
exactly. Kind of the same thing
definitely.
with Atticus too, but not in a drastic way. Like you could definitely see, you know, an easy step from Atticus the book to Atticus the movie, for sure. All right, so let's talk about the formatting of the movie. So obviously in the movie, they condensed it to like one summer, at least like a 9-month period or something like that. And they focused it more on the trial than, like we talked about in booking it. The book is more a book about country stories, and the trial is just one of the major ones. Did you guys like that formatting? Did it work? What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I liked how they had the trial and a lot of it because the trial was a really good part of it. But I wish that they would have had more of the other stuff that was in the book. Like you said, Cooper, like the country stuff or whatever it was that they went through. Because this was mainly, or more than 2/3 of it was just the trial, basically.
Yeah. Focusing on the trial.
Focusing on the problems from the trial or whatever it was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which I think would have been better.
I really like reading trials or watching trials.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just super fun kind of to see
What's your favorite trial movie?
Professional people roast each other. Favorite trial movie?
Or do you just like trial scenes from movies? Have you not seen like an actual courtroom drama?
I don't think so.
Yeah. I like A Few Good Men. I think it's pretty good.
I don't think
it's rated R, so I probably shouldn't say that on the
Cooper.
podcast, but no,
so I'm surprised it wasn't Isaiah. Brings up a rated R movie.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, so I was saying I really like that. Like, I like watching trials, and like even just in real life, I like watching trials because it's just like professional people in suits roasting each other. But and it's kind of funny. But I really liked the whole rest of the book, like somehow more than the trial scene. Like just seeing Jim and Scout and Dill on their little adventures and like all the different things that happen to them and like their interactions with Atticus and like seeing like little kids in the 1950s or whatever growing up and like seeing what they learn and how they learn it. It was super interesting because it's so much different than our culture today. So I wish they would have had more of that in the movie, but really, like, it would have been hard to have both in one movie.
Yeah, I mean, there are some obvious benefits and, not non-benefits, whatever you call it.
Because, like, the book is really, like, heavy.
Yeah,
so,
it's you're not going to make a movie out of the book, right? An entire movie. And so they did what you had to do was condense it, and thus you kind of get out, you lose some of the charm that the book had, right? You lose the country town, you lose most the coming-of-age story of Scout and Jim. I mean, it's really not a coming-of-age story anymore. There's not a lot of character development going on.
Yeah.
But you keep audiences engaged. I guess you do focus on the main point of the book, which was racism, obviously, and you get that. But you lost a lot of characters. You lost Miss Maudie. I guess she was a character who wasn't a big part of it. Miss Stephanie, just all of these even the little characters with the things they missed out on, which add to the book, But again, let's criticize the movie they made. But
Huh? Oh, are you telling me? I was gonna. well, you were talking about different characters, and I thought of Calpurnia. I was like,
Yeah.
I thought she was pretty, like, exactly represented, like, how you'd think of her
Mm-hmm.
in the book.
For sure. Isaiah, any other thoughts?
Not really, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
what
suck-
about... Oh,
Go ahead.
you can ask. I think you were about to ask the same thing I was going to ask.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was going to talk about in the trial, like, Atticus's, like, how he kind of pauses for, like, a few minutes at a time, walks around, looks out the window, thinks, and then, like, says something. Like, how about, like, in the movies, I didn't think he did that as much, or, like, did it really the same as he did in the books.
Yeah. They had to condense it too. I mean, the courtroom scene is obviously the best part, but Atticus, again, he was kind of more arguing at the kind of pathos instead of, I don't know, what am I saying?
Exactly.
They kind of focused more on, I don't know, he just addressed the audience more, the courtroom more than he did kind of when in the book where he was just looking out the window, like you said.
And,
So,
yeah. It definitely seemed like he cared more about,
Yes.
like,
Like,
like the outcome of the trial rather than just, like,
exactly.
only worried about Tom Robinson.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the movie, he actually, he cares deeply about the trial. I mean,
Which
he does in the book. He does in the book too.
Yeah, in the book, but he doesn't really care about the trial. Like, if there wasn't Tom Robinson, like he cared about Tom Robinson. He cared about an innocent man,
That's right.
like who needed to be
Right.
freed, and he was like, if that means I have to go to court for him, then that's what I'm going to do. So he
Right.
did that, and like he was being so genuine and real in the book, whereas he kind of put on like a lawyer type face, I guess, in the movie. That's what I guess I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So one more quick thing before we get into the trial in detail. What was I gonna say? Oh yes. So in the beginning, it does start off with Old Scout recounting the events. I don't remember.
Mhm.
They didn't keep up with that, did they?
I don't remember that
No,
at
like,
all. Like,
throughout the whole thing.
yeah, at the
Yeah.
end.
I think maybe they ended with it. I think like the scene before the schoolroom
Yeah.
or the school, like the play
Okay.
pageant.
Yeah, that'd be weird if they just started with it.
Yeah, I know. But do you guys like how they represented that in the beginning? At least how they tried.
I think it's a good idea. I don't think it was done very well.
Yeah, no. It, like, because it was started out with her just saying, well, I don't remember exactly, something about, like, going to tell them a story about what happened before, and then it really never happened again or anything, like, with them. Or with her and older at all. Which is kind of weird in my opinion.
For sure. All right, so let's talk about the scene before the trial. The little one where they're at Atticus at the jail.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys watch that scene? Was it really cringy? Was it cringy?
Yeah, it was. It was not, like, I don't want to just say the word good, but it really wasn't as good as the book scene.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, cringy could be used.
It wasn't what I was
I
expecting.
don't think it, yeah, I don't think it represented it very well.
In what way?
Like, it just wasn't, like, the same feel to it. Like, I don't know, Scout didn't, I don't really know. Like, she didn't seem to, I don't really know, like, what she was thinking, because she obviously didn't, in the book, she didn't know that she was going to, like, end up saving her dad. She was just talking and
That's
rambling
true.
for no reason. But it almost seemed like she was kind of doing it, which I think is just because, like, she's a young actor, and she was told she's supposed to say this to, like, the guy who plays Mr. Cunningham, but it was almost like she wasn't told that she was supposed to seem like she wasn't saving her dad. It was like she knew what happened,
Right.
so she kind of, like, just did it that way, like how it was supposed to be, I guess. That probably didn't make any sense, but, like, that, it just seemed like she was actually, like, almost trying to save her dad, and, like, she was supposed to say that right then,
Right.
because, like, that's what the actor knew she was supposed to do.
Yeah, I think this is probably the weakest scene from the book too. But also, the guy who plays Mr. Cunningham, again, don't know his name. Probably should look this up beforehand. But
Yeah, we probably should.
I think I think he did a decent job. I think that his facial expressions were really well done by himself. I think that he made that scene better than it was, and I think it was fine, I guess. But what about you, Isaiah?
I don't know. I just think it could have been a lot better. Like, it was acted pretty poorly. Like Matthew said, Scout was supposed to just say this stuff, not like say it directly to someone, just like ramble or whatever. But I don't know. It just didn't seem. It seemed like they were just reading it off of the script right there for me, or something. Not like actually acting it or anything like that.
All right, so let's talk about the trial. I think that the trial scene is probably the best scene from the movie. Would you guys agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
2/3 of the whole movie, so.
Yeah, well.
No, the trial scene is not.
No, it's not. But I think it's really well. I think I like the actor for Mayella. I thought this Wiles is different, but maybe it was actually accurate. I don't know. So what do you guys think about the trial scene?
Wow. Well, I already talked about Atticus a little bit, but Mayella was, I don't know, kind of stupid. But she was stupid in the book too.
They really made her really pitiful in the movie.
Yeah.
Really pitiful.
Like, I don't remember her, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember her being mad either. Like, in the book, I remember she was trying to be like, it was obviously fake anyway, but she was like trying to be like really mad at him. She's like, you ruined my life, you did this, you raped me, and like all this stuff. But like in the movie, she was just kind of like crying and being a baby the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. She could barely say anything straight without like crying or anything like that.
Yeah.
She's really annoying.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I don't know. I think they obviously made it a little less adult in the movie than in the book. That was noticeable.
Which is probably a good thing.
That's probably a good
because
thing,
like you would expect it if the whole thing. It is kind of tricky if you're a parent, like, because if the whole thing's about like a little girl just going through life and growing up, and then all of a sudden it's about like a rape like trial, then that's kind of out of nowhere for some people, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you guys think that let me get my thoughts together real quick. Yeah. Do you guys think that the trial scene played out in the movie kind of exactly how it did in the book? Like step for step?
Not exactly, but like I think it kind of did. I see like why you would ask the question now, because they definitely did like everything in the right order, and they did have like the kids sitting with like the black area of the courtroom. And is that what you mean? Just like
just kind of how it was actually played out, like the scenes, with different witnesses. Was it kind of exactly like the book, how you pictured it?
Yeah, it kind of was. For some reason, the court that like I imagined in my head was different shapes than the room in there. But also, Mr. Ewell was way younger in the movies than I imagined him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, kind of
really
creepishly young, because his daughter's like 20-something, and he looks like he's like not even 30.
Mm-hmm.
Really? I thought he looked pretty old, but
Really?
Yeah, no, I agree with Matthew on that.
He looked younger than Atticus, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Fair enough. But did you guys
and
think
Atticus
that
didn't even look that old.
Yes, true. He was pretty young. But do you guys think that Atticus and them should have won the case based on the movie scene? Do you think they would have won or should have won?
Did you just call him Tanner?
No.
What? How did you hear Tanner?
I don't know. But yes, I still think he should have won.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Why do you just like wait for me to answer and then just agree?
You're the one who says you always answer first.
That's true.
You're allowed to answer first. I just usually get there first.
I mean,
You didn't want to cut me off.
I think it
I'll
was
count
just the
this
whole
part.
court was just basically rigged and unfair.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
Actually, that's exactly how it was.
Yeah. And
I mean, there's probably cases that you can look up in real life
Oh,
that
yeah.
were the same thing. Like, they should have gone to the actual side, but the actual side, what the defendant was a black guy, so then they just...
that
I mean-
that happened a lot.
Well, yeah, it still happens.
It
Of course,
is
you're not
true.
fair
Well,
still, but
not often.
I'm not talking about I'm not talking about for black guys. I'm just talking about courts are still unfair.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah. Well, what would you do to change it, Matthew? Let's have this conversation right now.
Oh, we've already had this conversation on one of the other episodes. I don't know how I would change it. I'm just saying a court by men is never going to be perfect. But as far as
Yeah.
a court by men can go, America's is probably the best that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Which then again, I don't know of many others. But I guess remember when we watched that John Adams clip from the show, and that court was really funny. They all had to wear wigs and stuff.
Yeah.
That was really good though.
They got it right.
Yeah.
So
Anyways.
let's move on. Anything you guys want to say about the courtrooms? Oh, yeah, one more thing. So I remember this. My grandpa, his favorite scene is when Atticus is walking out of the courtroom, and then the reverend, the black pastor, tells Jim and Scout to stand up because your father's coming, and that was just really powerful to him to see all these people just just saying thank you to Atticus for doing the right thing as he was walking out or saving one of their brethren or trying to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really good, and
that's awesome.
and that's a good scene. That's a great scene.
Oh, you know what I just realized though? The one guy, the guy that like pretends to drink whatever.
Oh yeah,
alcoholic
he's not
drink,
in there.
but
Yeah,
like is actually drinking Coca-Cola with his little bottle.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the movie at all. I was kind of
That's
disappointed. I really wanted to see like the visual representation of him, like what he looks like.
yeah.
I didn't really get an idea in the book.
But anyway, it was kind of abrupt that Tom Robinson was killed, wasn't it? Right after the
Sure.
courtroom scene. Like it was only that night, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, it was. It was like
I
really
think,
20
yeah,
minutes
it was
later.
either that night or the next day.
Yeah.
Well, in the book, when was it? Like a week later or something? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was. It was a little because they had time to go visit him and tell him that he still had a chance in the appeals and all that.
Right. They did all at the courtroom. But yeah. Do you guys think that was a mistake doing that so fast, or do you think that it helped the movie?
I think they just had to spend their time wisely in the movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like
I
maybe
wonder
they
how
thought
long it is. I'll look it
They
up.
had a lot of
yeah.
ground to
Oh,
cover.
it's
with
2
that
hours,
movie.
I think. It's like just 2 hours. But I think they were just like trying to cut some stuff, and they were like, well, if he's gonna die anyway, well, there's no really any point in that scene, which there really is. Like if you're reading the book and like if you're reading the book and reviewing it like we do, then there really is a point because it shows that Atticus is still willing to try, and it also tells you a little bit about Tom Robinson. Like we kind of talked about, he was a little bit of a coward at the end because I don't know, he was just impatient, and even though he still knew he had a chance,
he just lost. Well, he wasn't really. He just lost hope. That's all. Yeah, it's 2 hours and 10 minutes, so they didn't have a lot of time. But also, Boo Radley, kind of a creep. Honestly.
Oh yeah. Well, he looks like this is super random, but he looks like he's so pale with like dark hair. I don't know who he looks like, but it was like a rock star or something.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like I had powdered face and everything. But anyway, I thought it was. Well, I don't know. It was done. It was fine. The ending was fine. It was.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of how you would expect him.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. I was expecting a normal dude. That's not. Anyway, anything else you guys want to say about To Kill a Mockingbird?
I don't know. You want to talk about the end?
Wasn't at the end, Boo Radley.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, good point.
All right.
No,
Well,
I guess not.
with that said, Matthew, how do you become a donor for the screening?
Donor for the screening. Well, you would have to go to patreon.com/the screening, all lowercase. And that's it. I almost said booking it because it's just habit, but no, /the screening. Name of this podcast, if you couldn't put that together. But we know you could. You're very smart. If you listen to this, you're very smart. And so, yeah, donate there. Currently, we have one donor for this podcast. And I guess I'll go ahead and shout him out. That is Nolan Killingsworth. Thank you, Nolan.
Yeehaw.
That's awesome.
Very first
Matthew's
donor.
brother.
Yes,
Thanks,
that's true.
Thanks,
He's my
Zach.
brother.
Thank you. Well, guys, please make sure to rate and review us. It really helps us get this podcast out to more people. Make sure to check out Booking It. Make sure you go to the link that Matthew said. It's in the description. And we'll be back in 2 weeks with The Hobbit. Not The Hobbit. The Hobbits, An Unexpected Journey, Part 1.
That's correct.
Because I think we'll have to get several parts of that one. But anyway, we'll see you guys next time.
This has been The Screening.